Hello again. Welcome to one last bonus video for our adventure game. The question was, of course, what about a toggle? Because I showed a toggle in a lot of the examples in class, and well, let's use a toggle instead of our flash here. Like right now it's flash, and instead I want to do something where it's a flashlight that gets turned on and off. So, I'm going to say everything else remains the same. I'm going to say, okay, 5 uses of the flashlight or 5 batteries. I have to change some terminology, but let's really focus on changing just this button here. All right. So for now, I'm going to take this button. Whoops. I'm going to take this button and I'm going to move it off somewhere, just out of the way. Leave it over there and disable it. All right. Make it not interactable. Can't do anything with that. All right, and instead, let's put a toggle there in the middle of the screen. So let's go ahead and make a little bit of room here. I like to do this. UI toggle. All right, now let's put this toggle here. And let's make it a little bit easier to read. So we'll say toggle label, and instead of it being, where's the color here? Color, let's make that color white. All right, so we can see it first off. And by default, we're going to make sure, go ahead, select toggle, which has the control on it, and we're going to say that it is off. All right, just to make sure. Now, another thing I want to do is make sure that the control isn't overlapping any of the other stuff by accident, because that's no good. All right, so let's make it there, and maybe we'll just leave it the way it is. All right, if you want to get fancy, make it a little bit more sort of centered. All right, let's change the label to flashlight. And we better change the font, I guess. Maybe change the font. 8, 9, 10 feels good. All right. So 10, that fits. And we'll make it a little bit more centered. I guess centered isn't really doing the greatest thing. We'll leave it that way. All right, so I want to turn the flashlight on. So now we need to create a modification of that flash function. So let's go over quick. We're going to go to main, and let's go to our main script. Now, before we had flash here, and so let's leave flash in place, but I have another one called toggle flashlight. All right, and we want it to be passed a Boolean, right? So we'll say T state for that. That's going to be the toggle state, what it's going to try to set it to. Okay. And we're going to say, all right, if there are flashes remaining, that means we're allowed to use the flashlight if it's greater than 0. It has some code in there. Else, we want to make sure to turn off the flashlight. Right? We're not going to let them turn the flashlight on. So to do that, we're going to want a reference to that, and we're going to call it flash toggle. And that's our game object, our flash toggle, or maybe flash light toggle. All right. And let's see where to go. All right. If flash is remaining is greater than 0, it does that. Else, what's going to happen? We're not going to let them turn that on. We're going to say flashlight toggle dot get component toggle is on, whoops, is on equals false. Okay, so we're going to make sure that it gets set to false if there's no remaining, right? So it can be turned on, it can be turned off. So the question is, one of the things I suppose the question is do we really even need this code? Do we need this code to be called? Why do I say that? Well, we can actually look at this state at any point in our code. So maybe this is redundant now that I think about it. So let's do this. Let's just say, well, okay, if the flashlight is on, I'm allowed to see what is going on, right? So I would see all of this stuff, right? So I could say, where would flash be called? Where's a good spot for it to be called? Well, of course, it's in the update, the move player or the update player position. I think update player position is probably the best thing to do, right? So we will say in here, and we're going to be careful. It's going to be a little bit weird. Or is it going to be in our move player? That's where hit a wall was. We could, well, let's just override that. So okay, here's what we're going to do. The last thing in our move player, after the player tries to move, we're going to check and say, if the flashlight is on, then we'll do this. We're just going to call flash, because why not? Okay, so what's happening now is I'm going to say, all right, if the flashlight is on, we can do that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. It is useful to have this here. Why? Because when the user tries to turn this on, I might want to turn it off, right? So if flash is remaining is less than or equal to 0, I'm going to turn the toggle off. So I'm going to keep that one around. That is a good thing to have around. But here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the flash, right? And after that, I'm going to say if flash is remaining is 0, because it's going to come in here and it's going to reduce the number of flashes remaining, which is fine. That's what I wanted to do. And afterwards, I want to say if flashes remaining equals 0, I'm going to disable the flashlight. Okay. So if the flashlight is on, I do the same thing as if I had pressed that button. But afterwards, I check to see if there's any flashes remaining. And if there are, I turn my flash off. Flashlight off. And then if the user is trying to interact with that and there is no flashes remaining, I should also, in this case, I'm being overcomplete, I suppose. If there's no flashes remaining, it's going to turn it off. Let's see if that works. So I had flashlight toggle up here. I have to make sure when I go back to Unity that I connect my flashlight. I'm going to do a couple of things now, right? So in Unity, if I click on main, I'm going to see now I have my flashlight toggle. So let's drag our, where is it now? Our flashlight, our toggle. Drag that over to the flashlight toggle. Boop. And also, in the flashlight toggle, that's where I want to call that code, right? And so in our toggle, go to our list, go to our main, go to our script and say toggle flashlight. Actually, we'll even do it the dynamic way. Now, it's sort of unnecessary even because it really doesn't care what it's sent. It's really only going to just like check to see if there's something left and do that. So let's see if that works. All right. So we'll press play. Notice a keyhole. Turn on the flashlight. Now, I'm going to start to move. Flashlight's turned on. Go west. You set up the camera flash, but see nothing. All right, still see nothing. Let me turn that off. Let's turn the flashlight on. Move. Near the goal to the south. So let's turn that off. Let's turn it on again. Oh, I didn't see anything. What happened? Colder. Warmer. Where did I leave that key? Oh, I guess I've got the key and I'm looking up. The use key is on. So that worked. And notice I can't set this anymore. I should have paid more attention to what it was telling me. Maybe I even wound up overwriting that. I should have been careful of that. So now I have no flashlight left and I can say use key and move back. Okay. So I want to be careful. What I did wrong, and I'll let you think about this as well, because what's happening is every time I move, if the flashlight is on, right, here's what happened. You set up the flash but didn't see anything because I called this flash after moving, right? And the problem was that this stuff wound up being overwritten. So what I should do is be careful to say, well, all right, if I found the key, that's one thing, and I probably want this to be here. To say, all right, if I didn't find the key, then I'm doing this. And if I didn't hit a wall, then I'm using the flashlight. Fair enough. Otherwise, I want to tell the player that, oh, if they hit the wall. All right. So now that's a little bit more better. A little bit more better. All right. Is it a little bit more better? Let's see. Let's find the key. And let's turn the flashlight on. Go to the west. Still to the west. Ah, you found the key. Now what? Now let's turn off the flashlight. Hit the wall. I'm just smacking my head against the wall. I don't see anything new. What if I go north? I didn't see anything. Turn on the flashlight. The goal to the northeast, all right. Okay, I found the key at 0, 0. Now what? All right, that's a little bit redundant as well, right? Right, because I already have the key. So that's another thing to go fix. I know I can use the key now. Yay! All right, so there's a little bit more logic in there. So I have to say, okay, if I've already found the key, I want to be careful. I want to say, maybe there should be a Boolean to say, well, what, or do this. I could say, keep track, int, and I'll just tell it goal reached equals 0. And then every time I reach a goal, I'm going to increment, right? So I could say, all right, if I got here, I would say, all right, I reached a goal. So I would say goal reached plus plus. And I could say if goal reached equals 1, I do this. Oops. that. Say that. Else. Something else. I want to say you found the keyhole again. Now what? Okay. So then I could say, okay, just wait and use. They have to use the key, right? So I could even have more keys if I, or more goals if I wanted, right? And here's really where I'm saying, okay, what do I tell the player every time they reach a goal? Maybe I have a switch statement there. Goal 1, you found the key. Goal 2, effectively found the keyhole again, right? And so on, and so on, and so on. All right, that worked. So our gameplay is pretty good. And it's a little bit more, like I said, it's a little bit more advanced, but you know, we want to make things fun. So let's see, we're gonna go west, go south. Let's use the flashlight. All right, go south, southwest. Turn that off. Southwest. Okay, found the key. Now what? All right, I'm gonna go north again. Whoops. Ah, you found the keyhole again. Now what? Use
Yay!
key. And I hardly used any flashlight. So plenty of cleaning up to do, but another cool idea, how to use the flashlight. All right. Look forward to seeing your versions of the One Room Adventure game.